People say minion armies are useless in last Epoch, that a zoo of tiny minions will never make it to over 1000 corruption. And they're absolutely right, unless you blow them up with huge explosions. If they can't do the damage themselves, then we'll do it for them. This build clears entire screens in a flash and melts bosses like butter. And the best part, we got 4 different minion types and up to 30 of them in total. This is the definition of a minion army build. We just, well, help them along the way. So, what makes this build special? We got zombies and skeletons being summoned automatically. Zombies blowing other minions up in 2 different ways. Skeletons giving us a 100% increased spell damage buff, over 100% base critical strike chance, and a crit multiplier even higher than Snoop Dogg. This is the Lich puppet. No, I mean, this is the Lich Puppet Master. The core foundation for this build is zombie deaths. Basically, one zombie dies and the entire battlefield just decides to spontaneously combust, chain reaction style. It's like zombie dominoes, but with way more fire. First, zombie deaths make us cast Infernal Shade, and since we have spec'd Infernal Shade to only target minions, these will be cast at, well, our minions. And we don't discriminate, everyone will get blown up. Infernal Shade will attach to the minion for a small duration before exploding by speccing into this explosion node. Further, their deaths will also make us cast Sacrifice on another minion, which blows up the minion, dealing a lot of damage to enemies. But better yet, Sacrifice makes all of our active Infernal Shades deal 250% more multiplicative damage. And if this wasn't enough, every zombie death also summons 2 Corpse Parasites minions every time, recruiting even more minions for us to blow up. And what happens after the zombies die? Well, they get resurrected by us wearing 2 Cycler Putrescence Rings, as well as a 30% chance to summon them when one of our other minions die through this node. This sustains our zombie army up to our max limit more or less constantly. And to increase the zombie resurrection chance, we want to blow up as many minions as possible. That's why we have 6 skeletons as well. And there's a couple of good reasons we go for skeletons in particular. The most important reason is that each skeleton death gives us 15 mana. And since this is a mana heavy build, we really need that continuous flow of mana to sustain it. But the uttermost important mana sustain mechanic is that we wear these gloves, making our Infernal Shade mana cost dropping to 0. Without these, there's basically no build. We also get 100% increased global spell damage for 4 seconds if one of our skeletons has died recently, which they do all the time. And the best part, we can spec into this node, giving us a 40% chance for skeletons to respawn after 3 seconds. And even better, we can combine this with full points in the Necromancer passive node, giving us a total of 80% chance. That's an almost guaranteed skeleton respawn when they die. I wish my social battery worked like this. This way we can almost sustain them fully without having to actively spawn them, which is especially important for single target damage. And with so many minions, we can spec into a lot of ward through this node, giving us 10 ward per second per minion, and this node giving us 35 ward on minion death. And this is only scratching the surface of our defense, because we have a capped endurance, a good endurance threshold, a great health pool, and an insane health leech. Our base armor is also good, and it skyrockets more than the CPU usage when you open Chrome, with the stat from our relic giving us 100% increased armor while ignited. And since we self-ignite every time we cast spells by wearing this belt, we constantly have this insane armor buff. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, it would mean a lot to me if you hit the thumbs up like button. Our movement speed of 78% is very good, and we also give our minions more movement speed with nodes in their skill tree and with the Aeterus Path boots. These boots also make us summon a lot of vines, which count as minions. These can also be blown up to hit enemies, while also affecting our ward generation from minions, an awesome synergy. And as a good law-abiding Lich, we're obviously going into Reaper form. Apart from the extra life pool we get with this, we also get tons of damage, crit chance, and cast speed with these nodes, and a 50% crit multiplier with this one. This is one of the reasons our crit multiplier is insanely high. And while speaking of critical strike chance, we have 105% base crit chance for spells, which means we don't just crit, we super crit. Somewhere out there a math professor is crying. This basically means we have more than a guaranteed chance to crit with spells. That's insane. But why go over 100%? Well, this is where our primordial item comes into play. The True Sight Glass Amulet has a gem of a stat giving us 40% chance to trigger deadly strikes for every hit with a crit chance of 100% or more. And what does deadly strikes do? Well, they give an additional critical strike multiplier of 300% for the hit. That's a huge boost, and you can look for the orange crit numbers to see which ones are triggered as deadly strikes. It's like a casino, except the house doesn't win. And to top it off, the amulet also gives us even more base crit multiplier and a sky-high crit avoidance, meaning that our critical strike avoidance is resolved only through this item. Damn! And just to mention it, the Throne of Ambition unique idol will make the single target damage even better, but you would have to sacrifice quite a lot of health and resistances that we get from our idols, and I definitely only think this idol is worth it for bosses. And since I don't like build switching setups for particular situations, I've gone fully without this idol. And to all of you Autobomber fans out there, you can actually play this with minimum involvement. You just need to have some skeletons and zombies summoned from the start, and the rest should play out by itself. Now obviously you have much more control and damage output if you frequently spawn skeletons and spam Infernal Shade yourself. yourself, but I just want to show you that it's possible, at least on lower corruption levels than 1000, which we're currently at. So if you like playing ARPGs without actually playing them, congrats, this build might be for you. And while speaking of corruption, this build has the potential to push way above 1000 corruption. We definitely got both the damage output and defenses for that. By the way, I got plenty of Last Epoch videos and other fun stuff coming up, so make sure to click the subscribe button if you don't want to miss that. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can join the channel or support me through Patreon as well, link in the video description. Thank you so much for all your support. Alright, let's look at some coherent gameplay from an Echo. Let's look at some Aberoth footage. For this build, you can follow the early game leveling build planner that I've dropped in the pinned comment on top of the comment section. And you can switch over to the final build planner in the video description whenever you feel like it from around level 20. At level 5, specialize in Hungering Souls. We're gonna go for the nodes giving us more multiplicative damage when we have minions. And to make sure we have some minions, we specialize in Summon Skeleton at level 8. At level 20, specialize in Infernal Shade. At this stage, you can switch over to the final endgame build and blow up the skeletons with Infernal Shade. Or you can continue with using Hungering Souls. At level 35, specialize in Reperform. At level 50, summon Volta Zombie, and whenever you decide to switch over to the final build setup, replace Hungering Souls with Sacrifice. If you've enjoyed this video, the best way to support me to make even more videos like this is by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. And if you feel I've earned even more of your support, it's possible to join the channel as a member or support me through Patreon, link in the video description. And to see my other Last Epoch build guide videos, click on the video card showing on the screen. They're like this one, just with slightly fewer exploding minions. Slightly.